Hello. It is Testimony Sunday, number 4, I believe. Yes. Everything was happening to prevent this video from actually happening, but the devil is a liar. We're moving forward. So, I don't just pick and choose what I'm going to talk about. I sit quietly with nothing on, and I let God talk to me, my heart, my soul, my spirit, and it's what comes to heart. So, and also, of course, the Lord knows my plans because they're His plans, and His plans are bigger than my plans, naturally. So, I ask that they coincide with one another, like they all come together, and that's what's happening. So this story is pretty much about when I gave birth to my 3rd child. That's what came to heart, and that's what came to mind of my Testimony Sunday and how God came and saved me. So I will try to make a long story short. I was in the labor and delivery room, and everything was going pretty good for the most part. Everything was going really smooth, really good. And then out of nowhere, like doctors was just running left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So apparently the baby's heart, my baby, heart rate started dropping rapidly to the point where they started literally rushed me into the OR room. Literally, this is literally started ripping my clothes, like cutting the clothes that I had on me off, like literally started doing that literally. Now, I'm more thinking like, this is like my favorite dress. I love this dress. It was actually a Tommy dress. I'll never forget it. One of my favorites. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I remember it like it was yesterday. They cut my dress, and I was like, so I realized the seriousness of what was going on and what was happening. Like, the surgery is gonna happen like right now. And within those seconds, everything just started flashing through my mind. I'm like, they're gonna cut me? Oh my God, they're gonna cut me. Like right now, I started thinking about the time I took off work. I started thinking about how I had to go back to work because, as I stated in the beginning of this video, she was my 3rd child, which means I already had 2, which means I'm already a go-getter, provider, a motivator, even with my child's father being there. It didn't matter. I was still who I am. And I needed to be able to get back to work to do my part. So anyway, getting cut, having a C-section just didn't sit right with me. I was scared. I was like, oh God, I'm not gonna heal in time to go back to work. That's all I kept thinking. Like, I'm not gonna heal in time to go back to work. And what's gonna happen? Like, not realizing, mind you, there's laws because I was young. Not realizing there's laws. They couldn't fire me for having a baby, let alone for having a C-section. It's a surgery. I didn't know this. So, to make a long story short, all the doctors came in. They started putting the IV in my arm, like literally preparing me for the surgery that I don't want to have. that I'm telling them I don't want to have, because I'm telling them I don't want to have it. It looks like they're doing it anyway. They're going through the surgery anyway, and I'm like, no. So, without me even realizing, I started crying. I didn't even know that I started crying. So, I start crying, laying on the bed as they're literally cutting my clothes. I'm feeling violated to a certain extent. Like, they just doing this anyway, even though I'm telling them I don't want them to do this. And in their mind, they're saving the baby. They don't care what I want. They're saving the baby. Of course, I want them to save the baby, of course. But can we at least talk about this? They didn't want to talk about it. They like, we don't have time. This is what's happening with your body, whether you want it to or not, whether you like it or not. This is what's going to happen. And I was like, wow, I just felt so defensive. Like, for the first time, I think, in my lifetime, I felt so defensive. I couldn't really fight for myself. I'm strapped down on a bed with all the machines, like monitoring the baby's heart. The thing with urine, like, it was crazy. So I'm like, I started crying. Before I realized I was crying, tears was coming down my face. My husband's trying to talk to me. Whatever he's saying is going in one ear and out the other. Family members is around. They're trying to come in. I just remember closing my eyes and started having a conversation with God and praying and pleading and telling him I can't, God, please, please don't do this to me. I can't. And as they're cutting me and preparing me for surgery, it was like God himself walked in the room. I can't explain the feeling. I can't explain it. But I have witness, which was my husband, the child's father, who was there. Saw everything. It's like a light. When this doctor came in, after I closed my eyes and talked to God, it was seconds. Like, the doctor just stormed in, as if he already knew what was going on. He wasn't even there. He stormed in. And as he stormed in, I felt the light. I felt the presence of God into the room. I felt it. Again, I just prayed to him, so I felt it right away. And the doctor walked in as if he was God himself in that body and said, stop everything. We're going to stop everything just like that. Just like that. We're going to stop everything. And as he said it, I remember it's like my tears stopped. Like, when he said that, the tears also stopped. And I was able to hear and comprehend again, because I wasn't hearing and comprehending the surgery and all of that. I didn't want to hear the surgery. I didn't want to hear about the surgery. I didn't want that. So I could only hear his voice now, and it was so soothing, and it was so soft. And he was like, we're going to stop the surgery. We're not doing anything. And he looked at me calm and cool and said, if the baby heart rates drops one more time, whether you sign the papers or not, we're going to do the surgery. And he looked at me. He told me to look at him. He said, look at me. I looked at him with the tears running down my face. Now stopped, so now it's just like tears in the sockets and the ones that already was running. And I was like, yes. And now I'm smiling. I'm like, yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Not knowing whether or not it was going to drop again. I had no idea. No idea. But like I said, I felt the presence of God walk in seconds after I prayed to him. Seconds after I prayed to him, I felt the presence of God walk in, stop everything immediately as they were prepping me. Stop everything immediately. I know it was God. And I continue to believe that it was God. And sure enough, the heart rate never dropped. Not one more time, not another second, not nothing. And I was in labor for a while after that still. And the heart rate never dropped again, to the point where I had to have a C-section. I did not have a C-section. That is how God saved me. When I begged, I asked, I pleaded, I cried. The tears were also prayers. For people that don't know, tears are also prayers. That's God listening to your heart. Like, prayers is words that cannot be said. It's deeper than the actual words. And he saved me. And I thank him for that. Thank you for listening to my story.